and welcome to tonight's Roundtable. I'm Kate Burnham, the superintendent of the Lunenburg Public Schools, and tonight's Roundtable we highlight some things that are happening in the school department to keep everybody in the know. My guest today is Officer McNamara and his companion here, Officer Hank. Hank is our therapy dog, and you can find him in the schools from time to time, so we're going to let you in on a little bit of background as to why you might see Hank with Officer McNamara in the schools. Welcome to tonight's Roundtable.
Thank you for having me.
No round table or table of any kind today,
no.
So that
we have him,
have
yes.
access to Hank.
Yes, he's enthused.
So, just to let everybody who might be watching know, this year is the first year that you are serving in the capacity as the school resource officer for the Lunenburg Public Schools.
Yes, it is. I just started this fall.
How are you liking it so far?
Love it. I love it.
Well, we think you're an excellent fit as well. We're super excited to have you.
Thank you.
But you have a very special friend
yes.
that you've started to bring in to the schools with you. So let's talk a little bit about our friend Hank here. What made you decide to get involved with a therapy dog?
So Hank's 3, so I got him when he was 10 months old. My grandfather had started with dementia, and when he was having a bad day and was real angry and stuff, the only thing that seemed to calm him down was Hank. So whenever I would get calls from my grandmother, hey, can you bring Hank over, can you bring Hank over? So I'd bring Hank over and it would seem to calm him down. And actually the breeder that I got him from was telling me how his mother he got his mother certified as a therapy dog. So one thing led to another, and I figured, if this is something that can help Grant, maybe I can help someone else. And him and I went and got certified as a therapy dog. He started class when he was 2 and he was certified at 2.5. Wow.
So what all is involved with becoming a certified therapy dog? What does that look like?
So we had to go to, I think it was either 6 or 8 weeks of class. After that class, we had to pass a handling test. And then after we did the handling test, which is basically an obedience test, make sure he's okay in situations, we did a field trip. Then after we did fine on the field trip, we had to do 3 observed visits to medical facilities, which in our case we used nursing homes. Yeah. So Hank did visits to nursing homes, and a person from the Alliance of Therapy Dogs, which is who he's certified for, came and watched us and made sure we both interacted appropriately, behaved appropriately, and then after that he got certified.
Wow. Is that a normal time frame for dogs to be certified, or was he kind of quick?
They can't start class until they're 2.
Okay.
So the youngest they can be is 2, and he just picked it. He picked it up he had no issues. He flew through everything. As you can see, he's just turned 3, and this is how he is.
And he's a chocolate lab, yes?
Yes, he's the English version, so they're bigger and they're stockier, and they tend to be a little more mellow.
Very mellow.
Yes, he is.
Which is okay if you're a therapy dog.
Yes, yep.
So, talk a little bit about how you decided to start to bring Hank into school.
So what happened was before I took this position, I was bringing Hank to the senior center once a month. We'd go to the veterans breakfast, Hank and I, and we'd hang out with everyone. We'd have breakfast. I was working 3 to 11 at the time, so I was volunteering, and it was all well and good, and we were going to start going to nursing homes and stuff. Well, when I switched to day shift, I told the chief, hey, listen, this is something I want to continue, and he was on board with it. And then we went in to talk to actually a health class about dogs and stuff, and once he got in the school, the kids fell in love with him, and he kind of just took off from there. And the kids absolutely love him.
Health class at the high school level?
At the high school, yep. We went to a high school, I think it was a senior health class. I'm not sure which one, but it was a health class, or it was Miss Bouquet's classroom. I'm not sure which one. But we went in and we talked to him about the therapy dog program and stuff like that. And then the next thing I know, we were there every Friday, and now we were going more often.
And that's a good thing.
Yes.
And you've branched out. Initially, you started taking weekly visits to the Achieve classroom?
Yeah, it started out as, hey, we're just going to go to the Achieve classrooms for a couple hours once a week. to now every Friday from the time I get to the school till the time I leave, he's with me. And now Mondays we're going to try to do Turkey Hill and the primary school.
Yeah, and Hank made a visit to the primary school just a couple of months back.
Yeah, he made a visit, and the kids there absolutely loved him, and he's great with them. So this is pretty much what he did when the first graders were running around. He took a nap and let them pet them.
It's a huge benefit, though, to the kids when they, you know, particularly the young kids, although kids of any age, really, dealing with a loss of one type or another.
Even if they're just having a stressful day, you wouldn't believe the amount of kids that come up and say, hey, just having Hank in here for 5 minutes makes my day better when I'm having a bad day.
That's a good thing.
Yes, yes it is.
So Hank has become a little bit of a celebrity of sorts.
Yes, he is. Yes. The kids convinced me to start an Instagram. We were going to start a Facebook, but I was told that the kids don't use Facebook.
No, they don't.
So we moved on to Instagram. So the kids I help out in teaching a advisory class. So the kids in the advisory class help me set up an Instagram, and now once a week we try to get a picture or something and we post it on his Instagram.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, yep.
Does he get a lot of likes on his Instagram? Have you been able to follow that?
Yeah, I think he had 200 on his last photo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He's the kids love him, and they all every Friday it's this big to do. Is Hank here? Is Hank here? Is Hank here? So. And
what do you notice about folks who come to visit? Oftentimes, you will be found in the main office of the middle high school, and Hank is usually not too far from you, like he is today.
Yeah, they absolutely, love him. You'll have kids seek me out and say, hey, listen, I'm just having a bad day. Can I pet the dog for a little bit? Yeah, sure. And it's a good conversation starter for me, because being my first year, it takes a while to get to know the kids.
Sure.
But they'll come up and talk to me just because they want to see Hank.
And how about people who come to visit the high school? Parents, other adults?
They absolutely love it. As soon as they see him, they say, oh, I feel better just seeing him right now. The parents and everyone has been so supportive of him, and so glad to see him.
So you said that you think, and I would believe that you are probably correct, that we're the only ones around that have a therapy dog.
So as far as I know, there are only the 2 police therapy dogs or comfort dogs in the state. One's in Greenfield and one's in Northampton, somewhere around there. But as far as I know, we're the only one in the state that has a school resource officer who has a therapy dog. I know there are a couple other school districts around that have therapy dogs in the school, but we're the only one that the school resource officer and the police department has one. So.
And typically, I think that the therapy dogs are affiliated when they're in schools based on a particular student need to have access to a therapy dog.
I think when I talked to the counselor at Memorial Middle School, their school psychologist has one, and it goes with her Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to school. And someone told me, I think Clinton High and Wachusett also have them. So it's more prevalent in the schools for the school psychologist or someone. We're just the first one that the police department has one with the school resource officer. And he's the first therapy dog in the area. But I've actually gotten calls from a bunch of other departments that are looking into getting them. Yeah,
including the state police?
Yeah, they're going to try to get one. Bedford, New Hampshire is going to try to get one. Actually, Hancock, New Hampshire just got his nephew or niece. They just got a therapy dog, 8 or 9 weeks old, so it's still in training.
Yep.
But it was from one of his sister's litters.
Very nice. Yeah. It's all in the family.
Yeah, well, the breeder that I got him from is very into this.
Yeah.
And she is actually willing to, she'll give a dog to any police department for free and help pay for the training if they want to get a therapy dog. So this is her big thing. She believes in it. Yeah, so she had given the Hancock, New Hampshire, and she has it offer out to anyone.
So I know that my own sister is an elementary reading specialist, and she has a lab as well. And actually, no, she's not a lab. She's a golden retriever. And she has also trained her as a therapy dog. But she was very interested in the affiliation that you have through the certification and training and whatnot, because it's not typical that the dogs would go into the workplace with you as a result of this. Typically, these types of dogs are working in a volunteer capacity, much like it was when you first started out, going to the senior center.
So Alliance of Therapy Dogs, I think this is, last year was the first year they actually offered it. Basically, they see the need for it. In our class, there was actually a kindergarten teacher who their superintendent said, yes, you can bring your dog as long as you get it certified and everything. So Alliance of Therapy Dogs went out and they decided to cover dogs who are working, and you're allowed to bring them to work now. Before it was strictly on a volunteer basis, but now you can bring them to work and stuff like that, and they'll take care of you.
So are you still making visits to the senior center with Hank?
We go every third Friday of the month for our Veterans Breakfast.
That's awesome.
Yep, they love him over there, and he loves going over there because they give him so many treats, but he loves it.
So I'll circle back to where we started with this conversation around your initial desire to train Hank as a therapy dog was from your own family experience with dementia.
Correct.
And I don't know how many folks in our viewing audience are aware, but there is a committee in town called Dementia Friendly Lunenburg.
Correct.
And you and I are both
yes, we are.
on that committee.
Yes, we are.
So talk a little bit about how Hank might be beneficial for the community in that regard.
So his main goal is they're shown to relieve anxiety, relieve stress, stuff like that. So, sometimes that people are just having a bad day and they see the dog, and there's something about dogs, and especially for him because he's so big and goofy, he just looks at people and it changes. It helps them forget about what was aggravating them, or just petting him is shown to relieve stress and calm people down.
Yeah.
So he's had a couple times where there have been some people who've been having bad days, and we just go visit them, and he spends some time with them, lets them pet them, and we talk about what's going on, and they seem to calm down.
So thinking about that's the typical course. There are kiddos I know that are afraid of dogs. So when Hank is in the school and you've got a kiddo who might be a little bit afraid of a dog, how do you handle that?
So we've run into that. If anyone doesn't want to see him, they don't have to see him. That's perfectly fine. But I've actually had some younger kids say, I'm afraid of dogs, but I'm not afraid of that dog because he's so well behaved. We'll go into a classroom and there can be 30 first graders running around. He'll just lay on the floor like this, let him circle around him, pet him, everything. He just lays there and loves it. And when the kids see how well behaved he is and how relaxed he is,
kind of eases that concern.
That concern, yep.
And I understand that you were a celebrity guest reader at the Dragonfly Cafe.
Yeah.
PTO had a kind of an event there just before the holiday.
Yeah.
And how'd that go?
It was awesome. I mean, again, he loves getting out and he loves seeing people. That's his thing. He's not like this at home. When I go home in my uniform and I pull out his vest, he jumps around. His tail's going 1,000 miles an hour. He starts barking. And then we put on his vest, and he calms right down, and he walks right out to the cruiser and jumps in. So
he's in work mode.
Yes, he loves it, and he actually gets really excited for it.
That's good.
So hopefully this summer, because there is no school, my goal is to start a Read with a Dog program at the library for kids. But we'll work on that as it gets closer to the summer. But that's my end goal for him and I.
I think that's a fantastic idea because it would motivate a lot of students who may not really naturally be drawn to wanting to go to the library and read. To visit Hank
I'm sure they
would be a draw.
Hank. Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Look at that. He's just so good.
Yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, we were visiting in class the other day, and I was working with a student on her senior project, and all of a sudden the kids started laughing. So what's everyone laughing about? Because I'm so used to it, I didn't hear it. Well, it turns out he's under the desk where we're talking, snoring, because he's sleeping. And they could all hear it, and the teacher at first like, is there someone sleeping? And then they all realized that it was Hank snoring, just taking a nap. So he loves it. I mean, he loves being in the hallways during class change. He'll go stand in the middle of the hallway so the kids can walk by and pet him. Like, that's his thing, and he's real calm, and he'll just go to sleep when...
That's great. So anything unexpected, something that you didn't anticipate in this project? Thinking back to the beginning of the year and where this all started, is there something that was unexpected that you're happily surprised about?
How well he's been received by the school. I mean, if I don't bring him on a Friday for some reason, I have about 100 kids asking me where Hank is, why Hank's not in school. I didn't think that the kids would like him as much as they did, but he is so well received, and it's like, if I don't bring him on Friday, there's a national emergency in that school because everyone wants to know, where's Hank? Is he okay?
Hank?
Why isn't he in school? So
that's great.
Yeah.
So, as things evolve over time, what's your greatest wish? Where would you like to see all of this go?
The more I can spend time with Hank, making people better. I tell people his main job is to put a smile on people's face. So the more I can use him for that, and the more we can get out in the community and spread this and help. I mean, it's great for community relations, building relationships with the police department. It helps me connect with kids. It helps everyone. So the more I can use him, and like I said, this is spreading faster than I thought. So the more we see him and the more we use him, that's my end goal, to just,
It's a good goal.
Yeah, get him out there, get him.
Making people happy.
Yeah. So
if there are folks who are watching right now who maybe are inspired now and can see an opportunity to involve Hank in some of the things that they're working on, what's the best avenue to reach out to you?
If they reach out to the police department or they email me, and if they're a Boy Scout troop, Girl Scout troop, anyone who's having a community event in town, if they want to talk to me about the program, if they want us to come do a visit, just reach out to me at school and I'll connect with you, and Hank and I would be more than happy to come out and visit you, talk to you, or whatever they need.
That's great. Anything to add, Hank? Well, he just lifted his ears a little bit.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I think it must all sound good to him.
Oh, he loves it. Yeah, as long as he's out working, doing something, he couldn't be happier.
That's great. Well, I thank you both for taking the time to spend a little time with me today and help me let the community see some of the things that we're doing in schools. And it's a great opportunity for everybody to meet Hank.
Yes, thank you for having us. And if anyone has any questions or needs anything, just feel free to reach out to me, and we can talk about the program or whatever they need.
Great. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having us.
So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again next time.